go to zone 1. Cool. Drop that down a little bit. And let's listen. Here goes the fan. And I don't think I heard the compressor. It's hard to say because we do have soft starts on here, so sometimes it is tough to hear that. But let's see. Our intake is at 78. And right now we're at 90. Let's give that a few minutes and see if it comes down. Alright, so we've given us a few minutes and we are at 85 degrees versus, well, here we can stick it right in here, 85 degrees, 86 degrees. Alright, so the difference between the air getting sucked into here and the air getting blown out of here ideally should be 11 degrees. So if we were blowing 69 degrees air out of here, we would expect 80 degrees getting sucked up to here. Now that can vary a little bit. Depends on how hot it is outside, how humid it is outside. It could be less, it could be like to 8 degrees. It could be as much as 14 or 15 degrees if it's not as hot out. That is what's known as your delta T. If somebody ever says to you, what is your delta T on your air conditioning? It's the temperature differential between the intake into the AC and the exhaust out of the AC, or your discharge. Okay, should be around 11 degrees. This is not. So, if we take a look up here, we can see right here, that is our evaporator coil. And our evaporator coil right now is at 83.5. Should not be at 83.5. This is indicating that the compressor probably is not running. Also, you can see in this tube, that is our condensate return. We're creating no condensate. We should be. It's pretty humid here. So we got to go up on the roof and see what's going on. Okay, up we go. So I already got the top off. And one thing I'll just show you real quick. This is my setup for on the roof. So we have a 2x6 and a couple 2x4s. We span across the rafters. Throw this other moving blanket on there just for us, and we can get right up here. Okay, so this is the whole air conditioner right here. First thing we always like to do is check these bolts right down here. There's one over here. Make sure they're tight. When they get loose, they will make a racket. This is where all the electronics are, underneath here. Now you'll see, here's our start capacitor. More than likely, that's the culprit. Let's take a look. That's our start capacitor buried in there. Now, nothing from looking at it would tell me that, oh yeah, it's burned up, it's not discolored, anything like that. It may be the problem, it may not be the problem. I do have another capacitor, so I'm going to go ahead and swap that one out. You do want to take note of all the wires, because there's a lot of wires there. I'll take a picture of this as well before I take it apart. And that's where we're going to begin. The first thing I did when I came up here, though, is I just went ahead and I made sure all my wires were attached. This right here is when we did the soft start. That's one of the jumps. This one right here is disconnected now. That was all for the soft start, which is back here. When we put that in, we haven't had an issue since we put that in. But this is the common thing. That is your start capacitor. And usually if the compressor won't start, it's because of this. Now, we put the soft start in, which is supposed to take away from that jolt of juice from the capacitor. But the capacitor is still being used. So let's go ahead and start taking this thing apart. All right, we're gonna go ahead and see if we can take a picture of where these wires are. We'll take another picture once we get this coming out. So let's see if we can get the screw out of here. Now you do want to be careful when working around this capacitor, because if by chance this capacitor is still good, it may have a charge in it. And if it does have a charge, we don't want that charge transferred through to us. So we don't want to touch any of these terminals up top. Boy, they could have given us a little more room in here. Okay. So we have it all out now. And just taking a look, nothing really looks swollen. Like, it wouldn't appear that this is a problem. Doesn't mean it's not. These are our numbers on here. Now the CBB65, that's the capacitor. The thing we want to watch is this 5515. We want to make sure we replace it with the same number, 5515. If you go on Amazon and look for these, you'll find there's 45, 12, or 13, all different ones, but we want to get the 5515 to replace it with. All right, so let's take a few more pictures here and pull the wires off and put the new one in. Okay, I will show you on here because it's just a little bit easier. But you can see you have one connector is Herm. This one says fan. This one says C. It's easier to see on here because this one is not all rusted. As far as the labels go, well, they're basically the same thing. Now, you don't want to look at the label and say, okay, I'll take the connections off of here and put them on here, because you do want to check to make sure you got your Herm, fan, and C all going to the right spot. So let's see if we can see that. So we have Herm, C, and I think that's C. And there should be one going to the fan. That one's a little harder to see. But if you notice, we have 4, 3, and 2. So on this one we have, we have an extra one. So we have 2 on this one, 4 on this one, but there's actually 5, so let's I don't know if that's a different kind of connector. We're going to have to take a look at that. Okay, so you see that connector? That's where we got the extra one for the 4. So we can go ahead and put that right on the 4. And this one. Yeah, that one doesn't want to come off. Now I should have mentioned before I even started with this, go ahead and shut it off and shut the breaker off as well. Last thing you want is for this thing to try to start up while you're up here. Okay, there's those. And pull this other white one. It's that white one. So let's bring this one across. Let's move that one over to there. Put that one back on there, and that's still hooked up. And that should give us enough room for this one right here. Okay, that's that one. Now we got 2 more wires. Going to this, that's going to the Herm, and we got 1 wire going to the fan. The Herm has 3 wires, so that is this one. And this one. And they're going to go right here. That one. And that one. 1 last wire, and that's our fan wire. And that one is going over there. Now we just need to get all these back in there. There we go. Never fails. When you drop something, it goes to the worst spot. Okay, got all our wires on there. Now, before we button this thing up, let's go ahead and check it and see if it works. Set that to cool. Let's give it a minute, see what happens. Okay, it's the next day and I am back here again. So what happened was we went ahead and we replaced the capacitor, start capacitor in here. That did not work, okay? We still had the same problem, the compressor wouldn't start. Something I probably should have checked first, but I didn't, is my soft start has 3 LEDs. LED 1, LED 2, LED 3. If you look up on Soft Start RV on their website, they will tell you what those LEDs mean. Now, with this one, LED 1, it says it can be either red or green. Obviously, we wanted green. It was orange. I could not find anywhere that showed me orange. So what I did is I took a picture of all this information, took a picture of the top of the compressor, took a picture of the wiring inside, and I sent it over to Soft Start. I created a ticket and put it in. Now, I didn't really expect to hear much from them because I submitted the ticket on Saturday of Memorial Day weekend. Okay, probably should have did this during the week when I had some more time for people to get back to me. Lo and behold, Saturday night I get an email from Danny at Soft Start, and it says he'll call me today. Today is Sunday, the day before Memorial Day. Well, as the day went on, I said, you know what, he left his number, let me go ahead and I'll give him a call. So I called him up and explained to him that I was home in my living room. I wasn't at the RV right now, and you can see I am at the RV now. So he said, no problem. Once you get there, go ahead and give me a call. And he said, first thing we'll do is we'll go over the wiring. I said, well, you know, I actually installed this Soft Start about 2 years ago, and it had worked the whole time. It just stopped working. So he said what I need to do is disconnect the Soft Start, which this is all the wires, right? So I disconnected the Soft Start, and lo and behold, it works. So the problem was the Soft Start. So now he told me that if the Soft Start was the problem, they would go ahead and they would send me out a new one. So I actually tried to call him back, and he was probably busy helping another customer. So I'm waiting for him to give me a call back again on Sunday, the day before Memorial Day. I mean, you can't say enough about a company that is going to call back a customer the Sunday before Memorial Day. Incredible customer service here. But we'll see more of that after I talk to them and they send me out another Soft Start. But in the meantime, this works. So now we will go ahead and clean the coils, because we were just in some pretty dusty areas, and at first when I started to have problems with this AC, I thought maybe I just had dirty coils, but coils really aren't terrible. But we're gonna go ahead and clean these coils now. Okay, you can see the water on here. So you can tell it was working. You know, I only ran it for a few minutes. Missed the screw right here. That'll do it every time. Okay, there we go. And that coil really, it's a little dirty. Normally I would brush this a little bit, but it's actually pretty clean. So we are going to use evaporator, no rinse. Now I'm sorry if it's might be a little shaky here. Now the reason we use the no rinse on the evaporator is this is the one that gets wet, so all the water is going to push the foam out and the dirt. It's going to go down into the tray and out the drains. Alright, that's it. We go ahead and we foam them up and let it sit there. Want to make sure you always put all these screws back in. You don't want this thing popping open while you're going down the road. Or get all kinds of road dust in here. You're going to suck that all into your interior of your trailer. And it's not going to run as efficient. Screw. Okay, the only thing that holds this is the hope that it doesn't fall off. Actually, the lid holds this on. So let's do the other coil. Yeah, for this side we're just using plain old HVAC coil cleaner. Well, you see all the foam is now gone. So now we're just going to go ahead and bring sand and dirt away. Did build a little dam around here. So that should hold most of the water. Mention whenever you're doing this, make sure you shut the breaker off. This is water, this is electric, they don't really mix up. So make sure you take care of that before you climb up there. Alright, you can see the coils look pretty clean. There's some water down there. We'll just go ahead and use some rags and wipe that out. Our little dam here should catch most of the water. We just got to go ahead and button this thing up, turn it back on. Okay, you can hear it's running. You have to take my word for it that it's actually running cool on the inside. So all of our screws are down. Now there is one thing I'd just like to mention. If you're going to clean your coils, sometimes it's better to be a little bit off level, side to side, because this way as you're spraying down your coils, all the liquid will tend to run off one way. In this case, this was my low side, so all the water did run this way, and I was able to sop it all up. I didn't have to worry about chasing the water on the other side from running off the other side. But that's just a hint that may help you, may not help you. But on an Airstream where the roof is actually curved, the water's going to run off. So it's not going to pool on top like it will if you have a flat roof. But let me go ahead and get this packed up and I'm out of here. Well, put this monster away for now. Okay, so that's another project that is complete. If you found this video helpful, please give us a like. If you know somebody that could use this information, go ahead and feel free to share it. We will do another video on the new soft start once we get it. This way I'll do a whole soft start installation video with that one, and hopefully that one will work fine. You can see we're pumping out plenty of water now, which is good. But if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, because we got some surprises coming up. We will be leaving this storage area, and we have a new place that we'll be keeping this, and it's pretty neat. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up soon. And for now, we're keeping it cool. Thanks for watching. We'll see you down the road.